Hello and welcome back to another video. So this evening I have decided to do a complete planner reset. So I saw a few YouTube videos getting around of a mid-year reset and I kind of missed that bandwagon. I believe I should have done that around the end of June, beginning of July, but it's never too late and I felt as though that's exactly what my planner needs, a complete overhaul. The dashboards feel outdated. It's getting quite messy because I've got all these thoughts, ideas, and all of these lists that just have nowhere to go. And I find it's because the second half of the year is quite a busy time. There's a lot of birthdays, I have a lot of events in terms of I've got a wedding to go to, I've got hens parties, and then also of course the Christmas period, which in itself creates a lot of lists. We've got gift lists, we've got planning. So I just felt like, you know what, I need to do a complete reset, and I hope that this video inspires you to do the same because it is quite an affordable reset. I have a few things that I wanted to show you guys, a little bit of a haul, but a lot of this stuff I've created myself. So if you are new to my channel, welcome. I am so happy that you have stumbled across my channel because I am more of kind of a micro YouTuber. So the fact that my video has kind of popped up in your algorithm is just, I'm so grateful for, and I really hope you do stick around. I like to create content about sustainable fashion, handbag organization, planner organization. So if that sounds like a bit of you, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. It helps me out more than you know. But anyway, as I was saying, a little bit of a haul. I have created a few new dashboards, so I might just quickly show you guys. I've got a new one. This is kind of my cover dashboard. I've got a wedding planning dashboard because I was recently engaged a couple of months ago, so obviously wedding planning is something that has been on my mind. I've got a Christmas planning dashboard, probably the most exciting one out of them all. I've got a spring summer wish list, I've got a to-do list dashboard, and then within those I have a bunch of lists that I've created. So all of those dashboards and lists, it cost me $8.40 to have them all printed because I have had them printed onto thick kind of card. So for me that is very affordable, especially considering how much a dashboard is when you go onto an actual planner kind of website. And then I also have a new little sticker book. So I found that a lot of the stickers that I had left were all quite big, and I like to use quite small stickers for my planner. And if you are someone who kind of hoards your stickers and don't use them because you feel like they're too pretty and you're like, oh, I might want to use it for another time, just start using them. Because for example, a couple of weeks ago I started to just put them all through my planner. I found it so fun in the moment, but also, for example, this week I turned to the week and I have a hens weekend this weekend, and I was just hit with all of these disco balls and just fun stickers that got me really excited for the weekend. So this is your reminder to set aside some time and put stickers into your planner because they really do spark joy. Well, they do for me anyway. So that was about $5. And then I also printed off a bunch of little images, just onto A4, but I've already kind of cut them up. And these are all wedding inspo images because I do have a new wedding planner. My mum actually bought me this as an engagement gift, and I thought it was so cute, and this is what I'm going to be using to do all of my wedding planning. So I thought, you know what, in this video I kind of might touch on this a little bit. Then another item to add to my planning toolkit is this beautiful little notepad, and my friend Lou actually purchased me one of these. It was a different design, but it had a very similar layout. It's basically where you kind of schedule, like do a to-do list for the day, and you've got a bit of a water tracker and what I'm grateful for. And I went through that notepad so quickly and I was on the hunt for another one. So when I saw this at Kmart, I grabbed it straight away. And these I just use pretty much every day. I use my planner for kind of weekly, monthly planning, but then when it comes to day to day, I tend to use these a lot. And seeing as I'm doing a bit of a haul, I may as well show you my new pen jar. Guys, look how beautiful this is. And I just think it looks so cute on my desk. So they are all my new things. I am so excited to reset my planner. I use the cloth and paper A5 planner. It is in the beautiful black croc leather, and then the spirals inside I went with all black as well. So if you're wondering, that is the planner I use. And I'm pretty much just going to start by cutting everything up and prepping it, and I'm going to completely empty my planner and start from scratch. So without further ado, let's just get straight into it. So the first thing I like to do is prep all of my dashboards and my list. Now the tools you'll need to do this is a cutting mat. This one here I believe is from Kmart. It was only around $10 and it is such a useful thing to have. I use it for all different crafting activities and it really does protect the surface that you're working on. I then have a metal ruler, and the reason I opted for metal is because you are going to be using a Stanley knife. So this is just, it's better to have this as it's more durable than plastic or wood. I then have a Stanley knife, a pen to kind of mark where the holes will go. I have a singular hole punch, and the reason I did that is because it's just easier to aim exactly where you need the holes. I then have an existing dashboard. This one here is from Cloth and Paper. I absolutely love this dashboard, and it is great as a template because it's quite sturdy, and I basically use this when I'm marking out where I will need the holes. So it's pretty self-explanatory. You're just cutting out the image. So what I like to do is line up the ruler as close to the edge as I can get, but I don't want any white kind of border. So I do tend to cut a slight, I'm talking like 1/2 mil off the actual image. And then I use the Stanley knife and I just run along the ruler. And rather than going in too hard straight away, you're better off just doing a few light kind of cuts. That way it stays quite precise. So there you have it, and it's perfectly cut along the edge. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this to every single piece of paper that I have, and I'll jump back on when I'm ready to start hole punching.
You never feel the way I feel. You don't know if my love is real. Baby, listen to me, here's the deal. When you're not here, I'm not the same. I'm reading a new chapter, babe. Been stuck here in a bed for days. I've been staring at the telephone, cause when you're gone, I miss your face. Later talk, body talk, there's no need to bring it up. Nothing you say makes it better. Wreck and fall, tear apart, issues left behind, restart. Nothing you say makes it better. And bring it right back to me, baby. No, we've been here before. Give me the real this time, no cap, no lies. It's our own door. Bring it right back to me, baby.
So cutting up those lists really wasn't as difficult as I thought it was going to be. I just used this as a template and tried to center it as best I could because I knew that the list underneath was center. So if I could center this and mark it out, it should work. And guys, it's worked fine. These are all pretty much exactly cut to size. Same with the dashboards. Now, when I had these printed, they are different GSM. So this one here is a little bit thinner because I knew I would be using it as a list, but I still wanted it a bit thicker than regular paper. And then these are like a thick kind of card. So everything worked out well. Everything's cut to size. So now it's time to do the hole punching. So again, it's just using the stencil kind of method. When you've got a dashboard full of color, it can be hard to see where the holes are. So you're best off to do it behind like this. And you've really got to be careful that you keep it kind of as flat and as exact as possible. And I don't do the ring around because it's too much, risk of getting the pen on there. I do a little dot exactly in the middle, as best as I can see anyway, of the circle. And then that way, when I use the hole punch, hopefully I did that correct. I did. You've also got to make sure you're doing it on the right side, the left side, but you know what I mean, on the correct side. And then I take this little protector off the bottom, and when you take it off, you're able to see where the hole is. So I'm hoping you guys can see that. You basically aim the little dot exactly in the middle of this hole, and you simply just do the hole punch, and you do that to each one. So that is one dashboard done. I am going to go ahead and do it to the rest of these, and I'll jump back on when I've finished.
Give me the good this time, no lies. It's our own. I never wanna give you up. I know we've been through way too much, but I'm confident we'll make it through. I'm here for you, you're not by yourself. Later talk, body talk, there's no need to bring it up. Nothing you
now that all of my dashboards and my lists are ready to go, I'm going to go ahead and empty out my planner. So in here we have, I like to just keep this little Gucci card here just because it adds a little bit of color to my planner. But for the time being, I'm going to take it out. I then have some stickers. These little dots I like to put on my days off. I don't color code anything, but if one of these dots is showing in one of the days, it means that I've got it off for some reason, whether it's public holiday, RDO, or whether I've taken some annual leave. If you are a content creator or you want to kind of stick to a content plan, I just made these in Canva and I cut them up, and basically I put one in each week. And it just has Monday through to Sunday and a little list of content that ideally I would like to post on that day. Of course, I don't stick to the whole list because I just don't have the time whilst working full time. But it is nice to know, okay, it's a Tuesday, try and do an Instagram story and an Insta reel. So they're a little list just to kind of help with my content. I have some more stickers. These ones I want to kind of start using a little more. I have some sticky notes. These are great when it's payday and I kind of break down my finances, because that way once I'm paid and I've distributed all of the money, I can kind of take it out of my planner and throw it in the bin just so I can keep it neat. These are some page flags. I don't actually utilize page flags very often. So if you guys use page flags for any reason, please let me know. I would love to hear how you use them. And now I'm going to go ahead and take everything out. So I'll take out of this pile everything that I'm going to keep, and then everything I no longer want I am going to put aside and replace it with my new dashboards and lists. So now for the fun part, let's go ahead and refill my planner. So I'm going to start off with my vision board. This I've just slightly updated, and I removed the 23 from there just because that way if I don't get sick of it, I don't have to replace it in the new year. And because these dashboards are handmade, of course they do kind of wear and weather more so than proper dashboards, but that's okay for me because I create my own. I never need them for too long. I can always just create new ones, update them. So yeah, it's fine that they kind of don't last as long as the others. I'm then going to pop in my schedule. I'm going to go with September because there's only a couple of days left of August, so I may as well start afresh. And I purchased the week to view, so you've got the week on one side, and then on this side you've got a couple of spots for lists and you've got a tracker. And I find this very useful because here I can do some kind of brain dumps and little to-do lists. So I'm going to go ahead. This one just has obviously from September to December, and once I've gone through one of the months, I remove it completely from my diary. That way it's not kind of interfering with anything. Now I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of my sections. So I have these little dividers from Kikki.K dividing every section, and these tabs are just left blank because I don't really have any stickers that I can put here that coincide with the actual sections. So I just leave them blank, and in an ideal world it would be, you know, to-do list, designer trading. And for those of you who are new to my channel, I like to buy designer handbags, and I also like to sell them as well. So I just like to keep track of what I've bought and sold in that section there. I then have my spring summer wish list. So of course last season it was my autumn winter wish list, and now we're moving on. So I've just changed the dashboard to be a little more summary. And a wish list is so important for me because I find I just spend money willy-nilly if I don't have a proper wish list and something to stick to. I then have my Christmas planning section, and within that section I have a gift list, two sections for gift lists. And guys, in future I would have, you know, made those a little more off center. That way I would have had room for the holes, because some of the holes are kind of over those checkpoints, but that's okay. So I pop those in. I then have a section for wedding planning. So this is a new section as well. This is just a beautiful image I found on Pinterest. That is like the most dreamy ceremony setting. And I just love it. So I have in there wedding planning. And guys, the only reason I just have one page for that is because I do have my wedding planning book. So I'm thinking this can just be a little bit of a brain dump kind of list, and then from there I can transfer it into here. So for stickers, I think I'm going to use this little book because they're new and I just think they're so cute, and there's a lot of really nice little ones in there. So I'm going to use those. I also am going to keep this in here, and these are just little, you know, urgent to do, any little reminders. I'm going to try and use those a little more because I think they're really cute. And then of course my little dot stickers that I use for days off. My brain now knows that those dots mean days off, so I'm going to use them until they're all gone. So these ones I will keep in my planner, and then as for my sticker book, I am going to keep it here at my desk because I find when I sit down at the start of each week at my desk, that is when I usually have time to go through, make lists, and also use stickers. So I'm just going to pop these in here, and then I'm also going to put in here my little content planner. And I just love these. Anything little that you can use and cross off and then throw it out, I find really keeps my planner quite neat. So I'm going to put those in there. And then of course my sticky notes, which these are clear, which are really nice, like you can kind of see through them a little bit. And these again are great for payday. So I really do have quite distinct kind of uses for each of my accessories, but it's just how it has been working well for me. So now it's the fun part. I'm going to get stuck in and do a little bit of planning. So it is the beginning of September in a couple of days. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in my focus of the month, my master to-do list, and any important dates. And then I'm also going to go through each of these months and all of these sections and just fill in anything that I can think of at this time. And then of course, anything more that I think of over the next few days, I will add in. So I'm going to fill those out, and then while I'm doing that, I'm also going to go ahead and stick these little images in my wedding planner. So basically this is completely blank. I haven't actually used it yet. Look how beautiful it is. My mum got it from Etsy. If I find it, I'll try and link it below. But it has a bunch of different sections in here. We've got a budget planner, a wedding checklist, inspiration, the list goes on. But it's just really great to not only kind of jog down any ideas that you have or any planning, but it's also a bit of a reminder as well, because they have a bunch of lists in here that I would have completely forgotten about the whole planning process. So I think this is just going to be such a great little thing to have. And what I'm most keen on at the moment is the inspiration section. So you've got a couple of pages here for inspiration, and I plan to just go ahead and use a glue stick and stick in all of these inspiration kind of images that I have, and then as I find more, I can print them off and add them to this little collage. And I'm just going to really have fun with it. Just play around with all the different images and treat it a bit like a scrapbook.
Issues left behind, restart. Nothing you say makes it better. Bring it right back to me, baby. Know we've been here before. Give me the real this time, no cap, no lies. It's our own war. Bring it right back to me, baby. I know my heart wants more. Give me the good this time, no cap, no lies. It's our own war.
There you have it, guys. That is my complete planner reset. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I am just really happy that my planner is now completely reset and that I've kind of started my little wedding scrapbook, which is so fun, and I'm really keen to kind of keep going with this and just enjoy the process. You know, it doesn't have to be stressful. So anyway, guys, I hope you have a lovely day or night depending on where you are and what time you're watching this, and I'll catch you all in my next one. Bye.